In my opinion, the original Lego Movie of 2014 was one of the most inventive kids' films for quite some time, so it had that strange mix of emotions when a sequel was announced. Of course, such a success had to be followed up for commercial reasons, but I was worried that a bad sequel might spoil certainly my great memory of the original feature. Well, in short, that didn't happen. The Lego Batman movie is indeed a worthy follow-up. Personally, I'd probably prefer the original, but I imagine that many people will see this as sufficiently different from the original concept for it to stand alone. Plus, my kids, aged 9 and 12, loved it too. Having gone to see this at half-term, there was a sizable element of children off school, and the reaction from every age group was universally positive. The film tells the story of an established Batman character firmly winning the war against his array of enemies, proudly led by the Joker. However, when the Joker voluntarily turns himself in, Batman is left working out what he's up to and what his own next move should be. Here's a clip from the movie. It's at the point in the film where the Joker has turned himself in, but Batman is suspicious and is wondering if there's a more secure place for the Joker to be sent to.
Computer, how do I put the Joker in Arkham Asylum? Quickest route, no freeways. Computer, do you hear me?
Hello, Master Bruce. I've just taken away your computer privileges.
Gasp.
Sir, it's time for you to stop this unhealthy behavior. You can't spend the rest of your life alone, dressed in black, and staying up all night.
Good night, Alfred.
Sir, it's morning. You need to take responsibility for your life, and it starts by raising your son.
I'm sorry. I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
The young orphan you adopted at the gala.
I thought I was being sarcastic.
And you get the general idea. Alfred, Batman and Robin continue pretty much as they do in that clip for the whole movie, and it is fabulous stuff. Now, some people who are familiar with kids' animations and CGI stuff over the last few years will probably recognise that there are echoes of Megamind and other movies where the hero looks to rediscover a sense of purpose and meaning when there is no battle left to fight. However, in this film, whilst that basic premise is the same and it isn't new, it certainly doesn't quite go in the same direction as those films, so you won't think you've seen this before. In fact, there's nothing quite like this movie at all when it comes to just sheer busyness. It is a real non-stop affair with wall-to-wall gags and action scenes from start to finish. Now, most animations have at least a short period where the pace drops, the kids in the theatre get distracted, and the audience noise gets a bit of an issue. Not this film. In fact, it is so mesmerising that you almost don't notice any other aspects of the film outside of that visual impact. But does being mesmerised for 90 minutes make it a good film? Well, not necessarily. It will be particularly interesting when this gets to the small screen to see how many problems that there actually are with the original film people start to notice. There are things that bothered me. For example, the original Lego movie was full of jokes and themes about the whole world of Lego itself. That, of course, led to exploring lots of themes, such as appreciating the simplicity of play and how, as adults, we can lose that valuable sense of innocence. That was what made the original movie such a good film, with a wide appeal. Of course, the makers thought, well, there's a danger here that if we repeat something that's too similar, people will just say we've made the same film twice. And so they moved the whole scenario onto the specific world of Lego Batman. That's kind of worked, but by doing it, the film does feel a bit kind of restricted and self-indulgent at times. Granted, the jokes are all really clever, and there is plenty of quality material about the various Batman incarnations over the years, including a number of nods to the original 1960s TV series, which I particularly liked. However, I wonder whether that will restrict the audience a bit, as it kind of lacks those universal themes that made the original Lego movie so special. As far as performances were concerned, with the character exaggeration setting turned up to 11, most of the main players, well, you can't say they turned in a nuanced performance anyway, but that's the whole point of this sort of movie that takes parody to the extreme. Will Arnett, who played Batman, Zach Galifianakis, the Joker, and Michael Cera, who played Robin, and Ralph Fiennes, who was Alfred, all do a wonderful job as the main characters. Visually, the film retains that charm of the first Lego movie, slick effects, served up in the style of a slightly clunky stop animation that served the first incarnation so well. All in all, I loved it. I give it 4 out of 5 though, because I suspect that the restricted scope for this movie might make some feel a bit indifferent, particularly when it makes its way to the home environment when some of the big screen drama is lost.